clinical psychology, you're taught how to assess what's wrong with a person. But in the psychological system that mindfulness comes from, it's all about what could be right, what we can develop, what we can cultivate, equanimity, compassion, caring about other people. If you do a mindfulness or insight practice or Zen, you're much more present, moment to moment. When you multitask, the brain does not do that, just does one thing at a time. It switches very rapidly. It's a fiction that we do several things in parallel. And if you were concentrating on that one really important thing you have to do today, and your concentration is up here, and then you think, oh, I better check my email. People check email more than 70 times a day on average. Or I'll do this and this and this and this. And you start surfing or wandering Facebook, and then you say, oh yeah, I have to do that thing. When you go back to it, ordinarily your concentration that was up here is now down here. Unless it turns out you did 10 minutes of mindfulness of the breath. Another benefit is the recovery from stress. The scientific way of thinking about stress and resilience is what's the peak of the cortisol and how long does it take to return to calm? That's the operational definition of resilience. And the longer you've been a meditator, it seems, the quicker that recovery becomes. The longer you've been a meditator, generally, the stronger the benefits become. So there's an attentional benefit, a stress benefit. One of the things that we're a little bemused by is that all of the spiritual traditions from which these meditation practices have come to America talk about how important it is to be selfless, to deconstruct the self, not to be I, me, mine focused. That turns out to be the least studied phenomena in all of the meditation research. Somehow in this culture, we don't really care that much about it. We rather increase our attention, our focus, recover better from stress. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's a good thing if you're stressed and you're distracted. But it turns out there's a higher goal that is not often talked about. There's a remarkable effect with the loving kindness meditation. So in loving kindness, you wish well yourself and people you love and people you know in an ever-expanding circle. And it turns out this has very beneficial effects on the brain. And in fact, the research on practices that encourage a loving attitude seem to have a more powerful effect right at the beginning than any other kind of meditation. It's as though the mind wanted to learn to love better. This is very important, I think, for society, for our lives, for our communities, for our families. We put our children in an environment every day where they're rewarded individually for doing better than other kids. And so kids become competitive and very self-centered. A book I wrote, Emotional Intelligence, was really an argument for teaching kids social and emotional skills in school. Meditation of every kind, mindfulness included, is mental fitness. We put a lot of time into physical fitness, but think about making the mind stronger, strengthening attention, strengthening your simple ability to control what's going on in your mind. And I don't think it's just attention we should help kids with. I think that we should help them with compassion, with caring. I also happen to think we should teach them systems thinking, because this generation of children is going to encounter a world where the systems we take for granted, like the environment, are going out of control. Going to need to be pretty sophisticated in how they handle it. Therapies that are based on mindfulness, like there's one called mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, turn out to be as effective for anxiety and depression as medications. Now, you may not have heard that before, and there's a good reason. No pharmaceutical company will make a penny from this fact. However, it's important to know. So mindfulness and meditation is a mental fitness exercise, a mental fitness practice, I think should become universal.